Welcome to the show. Big episode here. Waiver wire week 2. I'm going to walk through quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, and even a defense if you get lucky here. And I'm going to give you the optimal pickups at each position for waiver wire week 2. Who do you need right now? Who must you grab off the wire that's going to absolutely be successful throughout the entire year? Listen, I'm excited to dive in. Football's back. If you're a 16-rounder, you should be very happy right now. Our players went off. Emeka, Warren, Coleman, on and on and on. Josh Allen, if you anchored your team and listened, you got Josh Allen and crushed it. So, dude, I'm so excited, man. It's been an awesome week 1. Won all my leagues. I cannot explain to you how exciting this is, okay? So I'm going to go through these suggestions here. I want to cover a couple things in the news. Nothing too crazy news, but some things I want to highlight. Before I get into that, make sure you guys do hit the thumbs up. It takes a second of your time. Hit the thumbs up. Drop a comment below. How'd you do? I want to know how you guys did this week. I love to get your feedback. And what I'll do is I'll dive into some of the comments and let you know what I think as well. So let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or how you're doing. I want to make this interactive. And head on over to mybookie.ag. That's the site I use to get in on the action. Now, I just gave up my picks on the Counselor's Edge. If you haven't got the Counselor's Edge, it's 50% off. I gave up all my picks. And people won big time, got their return on investment quick. So if you guys want to get my picks below, and the place to play is mybookie.ag. The code you want to use FFC upon sign up. They got a bet back bonus up to $500. So if you put down, it's almost risk free. You put it down. If you lose, you get it back. So make sure you guys read all the fine details there. But mybookie.ag, the code you want to use right now is FFC. Go create an account, put down a deposit, and get it on the action. Of course, if you guys want my picks, Counselor's Edge, I've linked it below. But mybookie.ag, FFC is the code. Go create an account right now, get it on the action. Because week 2 is going to be here before we know it, okay? Hit the thumbs up. Let's get to these picks. All right, starting with the quarterback position. If you're new to the channel, hit the thumbs up. Again, the only person giving you the truth. Everybody else is copying and pasting, okay? Man, oh man, let's go. Quarterback position, Daniel Jones had himself a week. 32.2 fantasy points. Amazing. If Daniel Jones is there, is he going to be consistent? That's the big question mark. I think he'll be okay. I think this is the year the Colts are going to surprise a lot of people. So if you want a quarterback, especially in a 2-quarterback or super flex, Daniel Jones has got a ton of upside. He's just going to keep feeding my Tyler Warren. So I'm excited about that connection, okay? Another guy, Michael Penix, 27 fantasy points, had himself a good week. He's available in a lot of waiver wire leagues, so make sure you guys target him. And Geno Smith, about 23.1 points. Okay, now, as I'm going through this, make sure you do address your needs. When you're looking at any waiver wire pickup, you got to look at a couple things. Number one, do I need that position addressed? So if it's wide receiver, am I short on wide receiver? Do I need to fill that position? Running back, what is my need? That's my first thing. And second thing, I'm gonna talk to you about it right now. Is this player going to be consistent, or was it a 1-week wonder type thing? And I think the 3 quarterbacks that I mentioned are going to be relatively consistent. Are they going to be Josh Allen good? Not necessarily, right? But they're going to have some good weeks, okay? So if you do need that quarterback help, consider the 3 guys I mentioned, Smith, Penix, and Jones, all right? Let's go to the running back here. Now, this is going to vary from league to league, okay? Some of the guys that I'm going to mention were probably drafted if you're in more competitive leagues. Now, if you're in some casual leagues and you don't have a lot of bench spots, some of these players may be available. So check your local listings, okay? Your local waiver wire free agency, I should say. That check your local listings is an old saying from the 90s and 80s or whatever for TV. Check your local listings for the... Anyways, if you guys aren't that old, probably. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about here is Dylan Sampson, running back, Browns, 17.3 fantasy points, 12 attempts. Now, when Judkins comes back, is this going to change? Possibly, but there's still some uncertainty with what's going on with Quinshawn Judkins. As of right now, Sampson seems like a viable start for sure. Again, is this gonna continue? We don't know. So just something to monitor. If you do get Sampson, don't be upset if his targets go down or his volume goes down. Just be aware of that, okay? But if he's available, you should add him, okay? Zach Charbonnet, 12 attempts and a touchdown. Now, when you look at the Seattle offense, I would say that and again, we were hearing at a training camp that Charbonnet, and even Walter Football was on, that Charbonnet is going to be the man, and sure enough, he's showing that he is. I did not watch this game, but when I look at his attempts and his fantasy points, they're going to use him, okay? I watched a couple of the highlights. I think he got that one touchdown. So around the goal line, just overall usage, definitely going up. Zach Charbonnet is a guy that's going to be a solid flex every single week, okay? The next guy here, another solid flex option if he's available, and we saw his usage come up. I mean, last year you didn't see this type of usage, but Trey Benson. I've got in a lot of my leagues as an RB5. Consider him, guys. 8 attempts, 69 yards. That should go up. And I saw Connor near that goal line. Is Connor going to stay healthy all season? I highly doubt it. I would definitely 100% consider myself some Trey Benson if he's available, okay? Now, I doubt this guy's available in your leagues, but definitely, he was on my show, right? And people were talking about him. There's a lot of hype. He's most likely drafted. Now, if you did draft earlier in your leagues, maybe people slept on him, or maybe he's just on your waiver wire, but JCM, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, a.k.a. Bill, 8 attempts, 82 yards, and a touchdown. So if he's available, I would get JCM. He does look like the best running back out of Washington, okay? And Braylon Allen, 6 attempts, nothing crazy. But when you look at Braylon Allen and the Jets, I was seeing Braylon Allen near the goal line. Is this going to... And Brees had a safe week, right? But Braylon Allen could be used, again, deeper leagues if you want to add some running back depth. If Brees Hall gets injured, traded, something like that, something to monitor, okay? Also, I do really want to talk real quickly about that news there with Tank Bigsby, okay? This is very, very important. I want to add this to the show. I should have added it at the beginning when we're talking running back. Tank Bigsby gets traded to the Eagles for a 5th and 6th round 2026 pick. Now you're asking yourself, I have Saquon Barkley. Should I be concerned? I would say a little bit, right? There was talk about Saquon Barkley's usage coming down this year just for sheer preservation, right? So is that going to be a concern? Possibly, right? Tank Bigsby could have been a starter on the Jags. And now this also, when you're looking at running back pickups, Michelle Tootin could be a pickup if available in your league. He slides in as the 2, and a good opportunity there with Jacksonville, the rookie, Michelle Tootin. But also now Bigsby, I believe, and again, I've talked about this before, that Saquon Barkley is either going to get hurt or majorly regress. So I would definitely probably consider adding Bigsby for depth if you have bench spots for a chance for emergence and potentially starting. Now, I heard that Shipley is kind of banged up. That's why they brought in Tank Bigsby. So something to monitor, something to consider, and someone you want to plant on your team for potential growth if Saquon goes down. So that's a very interesting scenario there you want to monitor, okay? All right, let's get to the wide receivers. Oh, also the news I really wanted to mention is that George Kittle is out for several weeks, hamstring, guy that I've avoided. I was getting warned in my leagues fading that tight end early, okay? Let's talk about the wide receivers here. A couple considerations here. Obviously, Xavier Worthy is out, so Hollywood Brown was a beneficiary, 10 receptions, 16 targets. If Brown is available, you may want to consider him. Rice is still suspended. Worthy's going to miss some time. Hollywood Brown could be viable. And this guy here is interesting. Kayshon Boutte, Boutte. Now, he's had a couple years in the league, but he's never had good quarterback play throwing to him. So he was able to get himself, haul in 6 receptions for 8 targets, and could be a viable target for Drake May. Kayshon, Kayshon, Boutte, Kayshon Boutte. Yes, Mr. Boutte. Okay, you might want to keep him on your radar. Also, Quentin Johnson. Those 7 targets and 2 touchdowns, is that going to continue? Now, here's how I look at the whole Quentin Johnson deal, okay? Because he's available in a couple of my high-stakes leagues. I'm debating on grabbing him, right? Now, when you look at a guy like Ladd McConkey, drafted in the 2nd round, who I said would bust, you have to pay a 2nd-round pick. So now, Quentin Johnson has the chance to be the one. Remember, he was a 1st-round draft capital guy that took a while to bloom. You are potentially getting the one. I'm not saying he's the one. We don't know who the one is. And again, a lot of teams are doing this to screw with you. But when you look at it, you're like, okay, well, I can get myself the potential one on the Chargers on waiver wire instead of spending that 2nd-round pick on Ladd. And Quentin Johnson could easily outperform, like he did this past week, Ladd McConkey in week-by-week basis or just in certain weeks. So don't expect 2 touchdowns next week, but expect him to continue to stay on the field for a lot of the snaps. So that's kind of a plus there. So I would probably consider him if you want to add some wide receiver depth for some potential to be that one. Keenan Allen's getting old. You know, Trey Harris is just very unfortunate. As soon as Keenan Allen came in, Trey Harris took a backseat. That kind of annoyed me because when I did my earlier drafts, I had a bunch of Trey Harris stock because he was supposed to be on the field on every snap pretty much, right? And now just Keenan Allen just really, really destroyed that buzz. So just something to keep in mind. We're looking at Quentin Johnson. He'll be on the field a lot, okay? Calvin Austin had himself 4 receptions, maybe something there in Pittsburgh. You know, there is talk about Tyreek Hill and I don't get this. Why does Tyreek get an out? If Miami is doing bad, Tyreek gets a trade just to be on a winning team. I think that's crap. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be a winning team, but there's talk that he might end up there because they do need wide receiver help. There's also talk about Tyreek Hill going to, over in KC. But anyways, either way, if Tyreek ends up there, obviously it's going to destroy Calvin Austin's value, but Calvin Austin could be a waiver wire pickup. Cedric Tillman as well. I think he had like 8 targets and a touchdown in Cleveland. Something possibly there if he's available, Cedric Tillman. And if you guys are in majorly deep leagues, consider maybe Ray McLeod, which I don't like, Casey Washington with the injury to Drake London. But still, I'm not trusting any of the receivers there in Atlanta. But yeah, you know what? Ray could emerge. You never know. All right, tight ends here. And again, tight end, I told you to get yourself Tyler Warren if you listened. But if you didn't, you got a couple options here. Harold Fannin, if he's available, could be an option. 9 targets. I know they got Njoku, but he seemed to be getting a lot of work. Harold Fannin is a must pick up at the tight end position this week. Stash him. Put him on your bench. Maybe start him next week because 9 targets is really appealing to me. When you get targeted that much, there's something there. There's something there, okay? Michael Mayer, if Brock Bowers misses time, could be viable. Only 4 targets, though. After Brock Bowers went out, he seemed to be targeted pretty decently. I know it's 4 targets, but Brock Bowers went out of the game later. If Brock Bowers was out or gets hurt, Michael Mayer will emerge. And of course, Juwan Johnson, 12 targets, 8 receptions. A player that's had years to wow us, we're not wowed, but could emerge as well as an outlet for Rattler, okay? So there's something there possibly for Juwan Johnson. I'm not getting excited holding my breath, but the 12 targets has me kind of like raising an eyebrow going, what's going on, okay? So, waiver wire week 2, those are your pickups. If you use the channel, subscribe, thumbs up, head over to mybookie.ag, use code FFC, go create an account, and let me know how you guys are doing below. I'll try to jump into some of the comments. If you want direct access to me, patreon.com/FF Counselor, okay? Those are some names here. If I missed somebody, I apologize, but again, every league varies from player to player. Check your local listings, your league, your free agency, and I'm telling you guys, address your needs, okay? Make sure that you have depth. Oh, I need another running back. Maybe Bigsby will be good on my bench. Or I need a wide receiver. Maybe Quentin Johnson will be good for me, right? Like, you got to address your needs. And again, in some deeper leagues, maybe there's some better players available that I didn't mention. Some leagues are completely, players are slept on. Maybe Mika Buka is available in your league. Go check that out. Don't miss out on the guys that did well as well, okay? Subscribe, thumbs up. I appreciate you. Have yourself an outstanding day. I'll keep the content rolling for you daily. I'm out.